one of the things that I mentioned when I first met Sharad was typically my experience with Filipino VAs or VAs for that matter is very transactional. Even when you go through interviews and you're speaking with people from Philippines or in VA roles, most often it's very driven by performance. Okay, here's 10 tickets, I'll close 10. One of the things that I've seen is adoption. How have you got past sort of breaking that VA mentality and have someone truly adopt to your vision? You know, if you want to have the most stellar customer performance team and provide the most over-the-top support, how are you transitioning your VAs to truly adopt that and to really transition from, hey, I'm just sort of this minimum paid, contract person to I'm the voice of this company. And so I think that's a really interesting question to ask when you start thinking about VAs and how you direct them to be the forward-facing voice of your organization.
So number one, nobody's really a VA. All they are is just another person on the other side of the world. So I have 2 American employees, and that's for our storage facility business. Everyone else is all virtual. And that's because I need someone there on the ground who can do some manual labor stuff, right? And then the biggest thing is we need to cast the vision for them of what we're trying to do. And a book you should all read is a book called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Oh yeah, that's a really good book. Right? By that chef, right?
Yeah, by that chef.
Yeah, that's an amazing book.
That'll really help you as far as like showing we need to cast the vision and like the standard that we're setting for these people, and then how their role matters and how every little thing is a big deal to the end result. But like we need to really let them know like, hey, what you're doing here actually matters. And then we need to show them that there can be growth in the company as well. It's no different than any other employee is the big thing. And so, but then at the same time, man, if some people are doing a very, very transactional role, we bring them in on our company meetings. Hey, what's something you're grateful for every day? And then what's something good that happened to you yesterday? So we can get to know them and then kind of break down that barrier. I'm not gonna say have one-on-ones with your virtual assistant who's pulling data, because I don't, but then my team members who manage them do. Like,
and how often are you sharing the vision of the company with your team? Like, do you have all hands meeting once a week, once a month, once a quarter? How often are you doing that?
Every day. I mean, because like it is so hard to have your leadership be so potent across a Zoom call. It's hard to build culture virtually, right? And so it's like talking about the core values every day. You're like every day, all of our teams go over like some Ed Milet or Tony Robbins, or be like, hey, here's our core values. Here's what we're doing. This is what we want to be. Does this align with what we want to be? And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not the best at it, but this is what I found helps mitigate the transactionalness of it. And there are going to be some people who are just transactional. And if that's not what you want, let's tell them at the front end, like, hey, I want you to be able to grow in our company. But if all they see is that they're going to be a transactional person in the company, that's the way they'll treat it. If you tell them that, like, hey, we're growing. At this point last year, we were here. Now we are here. I want to get to here. And there's plenty of room for growth for you to build whatever type of dreams you have inside of our company. That is a completely different conversation with a virtual assistant as compared to, hey, I need you just to scrub this data, hit the metrics. And I'm a lot more of a straightforward person where I'm like, still, you got to hit the metrics, but there's still room to grow.
So you said you are doing like daily, like you guys have like all hands daily, like a huddle, everybody jump.
Yeah. So the way I have it set up, for our storage stuff, they have a call. For our B2B sales company, they have a call. For our virtual assistant company, they have a call. And then I have a call with all those heads once a day.
Got it. And then you're sharing the vision with them, and then they're sharing the vision with the team.
And I'll do all hands like once a week.
Right.
And that all hands is just for me to congratulate people and be like, hey, we're here to be the best. Here's what our core values are, and here's what we're going for.
I love that. What's the, go ahead, Jose.
Yes, thank you. Question I have is, how do you conduct payments? Like, are we paying some kind of taxes in between the US and where the VA lives, or we just cutting a check and not even putting in the tax books, like in your books, but not into tax purposes? How does that work?
I am not a tax professional, an attorney, or anything else, but all of my virtual assistants are a marketing cost.
You're not doing any of the taxes or anything, right? Like you don't have a local entity set up anywhere.
No, and we send it all through Remly. They can figure out their own tax situation.
Right.
Can we put that in the chat? What is it called? Wemberly?
Remly.
Remly's good. I don't think any of you will like max out on their limits. They're gonna want like your ID and stuff, but it's the easiest way to pay them. And it's like a direct deposit from your account to their account. And we can use credit cards with it too, so we can get points. And we never pay for the transaction fees that comes out of their pay. And so we just tell them when they get onboarded, we don't pay transaction fees, you pay the transaction fees. Yeah, and then Wise is really good too.
Yeah. Wise is what we use for our team.
And then that way, and you can use Payoneer as well. But that way I can use cards and I can just get travel points from it.
I don't know, you could use card legitimately. I mean, when we use credit card, it charges pretty high fee. So we use like just ACH from our account, and then we can set up as a recurring payment. So you just set it, and then it's just a recurring payment after that. You don't have to go in and keep doing that. But like there's some countries, like we had a couple of people in Colombia, we're trying to pay them and just, they won't allow us to pay them. It's just like some regulations between, I guess Wise wasn't.
You can't with Wise, you can with Remly, you can with Payoneer.
Okay.
There's another company that they showed me, but then they wanted like my tax returns and stuff. And I was like, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What have you noticed in your experience? Like when you notice, when you see a real estate investor hire a VA, like what's like the biggest mistake you see them making in hiring process or managing a VA?
They don't have an actual training ready for them.
Like SOPs and stuff?
Yeah, like they don't have SOPs and everything. It's no different than hiring on any other employee.